Welcome back to Eliances Heroes, where heroes in business align. To be part of our super community and find out more about Eliances, visit www.Eliances.com.
That's right, and we're back, and it's just what a mind-blowing day it is with the amount of leaders that we have, those that are making an impact, changing the lives of others, creating jobs, entertaining others, and so much more. Well, I'm excited about our next guest today. What does Xbox, former executive at Xbox at Microsoft, have to do with our interview today? Well, welcome to the show, Ross Honey. He is the president and CEO of TouchTunes, and you can reach him at touchtunes.com. And by the way, too, thank you for the feedback we continue to have when I had Oculus co-founder on, who will also, you'll be able to meet him in September. So thank you again, Ross. Thank you for being here today. Well, let's jump right into it. So first of all, is talk to us about your experience having been at executive at Xbox, executive Xbox at Microsoft.
Absolutely, David. First, thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be here. Yes, I had the great fortune of working with the great team at Xbox on a product. I'm a gamer, so I was super passionate to be there. And what I got to work on with the team was to transform video game consoles into broader entertainment platforms that you could get any entertainment you wanted, not just games. So, for example, Xbox was the first platform to offer HD on-demand movies and TV shows. We were the first platform of any scale to have the Netflix streaming app on it. And a funny little story, when we launched that, it was so popular with our users that it broke the system. We had so many people trying to sign up at any one time, it crashed our systems. And we saw, and Netflix saw from day one, and this is quite a while ago now, people were spending 20, 30 hours on Netflix streaming back in 2012, which really pointed the way for Netflix and for us on the amazing potential with streaming entertainment.
And what a fun job and position. I mean, everybody knew Xbox, right? It was just the thing. In fact, I remember even traveling at the airport, and they had the Xbox set up in one of the major airports, and everybody was like crowded around it, like, what is this amazing thing? And how did you end up getting that role, though? Like, what, I mean, that's like the dream job at that time, right?
Yeah, how did I get that role? I mean, it's one of those examples that your network is super valuable. And I was thinking about where my next opportunity would be. I really wanted to be deeply involved in digital entertainment at a company that was really looking to make a difference. And one of my former colleagues knew a friend who had recently started at Microsoft, a gentleman by the name of Blair Westlake, legendary executive in the entertainment industry. And I said, wow, that's interesting. I'd love to talk to him. And so he connected me, and I met with Blair and the team, and they offered me a job. And then from there, it's one of those things where it's a mix of good fortune, good timing, and working hard. And I found myself with this opportunity with this amazing platform, passionate user base, amazing brand, and with a world-class R&D team to help, through the power of software, change this product from a game machine to a broad entertainment platform.
Yeah, and let's get into now with TouchTunes and stuff. I mean, how did that all come to be? And that's got, like, you've had how many downloads? I was reading some of the stats on it. It's off the hook.
Yeah, so TouchTunes is a digital jukebox company, and we're in 60,000 locations nationally in the United States, which, if you don't work in the location-based business, it's sort of, okay, is that a lot or a little locations? And the way I explain that is to say, if you took all the Starbucks in the US, all the McDonald's, all the Subways, and all the Walmarts, that's actually still fewer than 60,000 locations. So we are everywhere, predominantly in bars and restaurants, although we've recently launched a new product called TouchTunes Unlimited, which takes the power of the jukebox and its ability to connect people through music and takes that into the workplace. And I joined 7 years ago this week, and I was just really excited about the product. It's an amazing product. Our customers love it. For those who track stats like NPS, Net Promoter Score, our users give us a 70 NPS, which is very high, and love the team, and also was really excited about the opportunity to go from what is a great but giant company in Microsoft and Xbox, and work in a smaller company and really be one of the decision makers to help make it successful.
Yeah, let's talk about the transition. How do you I mean, you went again from a global universe to now, what, 7 years ago, working your way up, now becoming the president and CEO of TouchTunes. But how do executives make that kind of transition?
I mean, I think you first have to make that transition by just going in and being humble and recognizing that you have a lot to learn, both about a business, and that's any new business that you go into, but I think also in learning on how the company operates and how it's different, because it is radically different. But I think you also seek the opportunities that you have in a smaller company versus a larger company, which is a level of agility. Like the number of people I need to get together to make a decision on changing the business is, fewer than 10. And at Microsoft, let me just say, it was a lot more than that. That ability to be agile and be purely focused on the customer and develop new innovative solutions like TouchTunes Unlimited is just really great, and do it at a pace that, the bigger companies just are challenged with because they're just so big.
Well, I got a little secret to share with you, and that is that I actually used to work for Microsoft in that. So
yeah,
there you go. But I wasn't involved in the Xbox part. But you're watching and you're listening to me, David Kogan, host of the Eliances Hero Show. So make sure that you go to Eliances.com to check out past episodes. And of course, make sure that you go to Eliances.com to see what our whole community is about. Also, too, is again, Ross Honey is here. He's the president and CEO of TouchTunes, former executive at Xbox, and you can reach him at touchtunes.com. So what is, growing TouchTunes and stuff, what are some of the secrets that you've, now, because again, you went from the large to smaller company to be able to grow it?
I mean, I think first, which again, I'd say is a universal in business, which is just being laser focused on the customer. Like, how do you create new value for the customer? I think the second is that recognizing that bigger isn't always better. And actually the best solutions and the best thinking can come when you have constraints, and when you don't have nearly unlimited budgets that at times we were fortunate enough to have at Microsoft. So to really embrace the scarcity and the constraints and challenge the whole team, myself included, to develop great solutions even in that constraint. And then I think lastly, and again, this is a universal, is empower the team. Be clear about where you want to go, what the strategy you want to achieve, and then say, okay, go make it happen, and be there to help. And that I think that's really helped us deliver outsized results here at TouchTunes.
So where do you want to eventually, where do you want to eventually take the company? Like what's the next? What's your crystal ball say next with TouchTunes?
Yes. So I think we're very focused in expanding the footprint of TouchTunes. We have great strength in bars and restaurants, as I mentioned, but we see the power of the jukebox in connecting people, and there are many places where people come together, where music could play a bigger role to connect them, and the workplace is a perfect example of that. Yes, people can play music in their offices today, whether that's putting on your earphones or just running background music. But there's some really key differences that just make all the difference and make this a better solution. First is, if I'm sitting at my desk and I have AirPods in, I can't hear everybody else. I can't connect with anybody else. No one knows what I'm listening to. So I'm listening to music, but it's isolating. Second, if you have background music playing, okay, someone picked that song. No one has influence on it. No one can pick it. With a jukebox, what you get is everybody coming together to curate the music, what they want to hear. And then the act of that curation and the act of selecting that song drives conversation and connection. Hey, I love this song. Who chose this? Oh, I did. Oh, do we really need to hear another ABBA song? Like, Jeff, could we not? That kind of dialogue and conversation that we saw in our own offices, because we have jukeboxes just to do our regular business. We saw that opportunity to take it to other workplaces. And I'll tell you, David, it's just really been exciting to see how it's resonated. First of all, we are an incredible breadth of workplaces. We are in leading website technology companies. We are in financial services companies. We're in distribution centers for major shipping companies. We're in food processing companies. And it really just speaks to how music is a universal connector, regardless of where you're working. And we've surveyed our users, and it's really interesting to see that they have found that, you know, almost 70% of our users at TouchTunes Unlimited in the workplace say it's made them excited to come to work and feel better since it's been installed. And it's really to see how to see that impact. And we're very excited about the potential because, as you know, there are millions and millions of workplaces, and I'd love to have a jukebox in every single one.
Awesome goal. Well, Ross, also too is you know, clearly again you've had an extremely successful career, and I know I'm as with many, you know, there's been bumps in the road. But what do you have to say as to young adults who want to be able to? I mean, their dream is right, either own their own company, become many are. Become the CEO, become the manager, even in that case and stuff. You climb the corporate ladder. You climb the corporate ladder multiple times, right? And again, even at TouchTunes, nothing was guaranteed. You had to prove yourself for 7 years to get to where you are at that company. What are kind of some of those advice maybe you either share with young adults or where you learned it from, or parents that are listening?
Sure thing. So I think some of the things that I would impart to others is just to really internalize that feedback, any feedback, including feedback you don't like to hear or disagree with, is a gift. That this is someone giving you an opportunity to get better. And even if you didn't intend for something to be perceived a certain way, if that person has an impression, that in itself is something that you should be thoughtful about. And I think what has been super helpful for my progression of my career is showing that anytime you do something new, you're going to do stuff right and you're going to do stuff wrong. There's plenty of things I learned when I went to Xbox. There's plenty of things that I learned when I came here. I showed that when someone pointed out to me, hey, I thought that could have gone better, or this is something you might want to think about, I took it seriously and I changed. So that's something I really, really encourage anyone early in the career to internalize. I think second is you cannot overestimate the value of being a good communicator. With both verbally and in written form, because you could be the smartest person in the world with the best ideas, but if you can't communicate them, it's obvious, but it's funny how people undervalue it at times. If you can't communicate it very effectively, then you're not going to get as much traction as the converse. And I would say people who are incredibly good communicators actually get far more credit and value attributed to them, even despite maybe their ideas not as strong as someone who's not as good. So that's another thing. Communication, work on that, practice it, get training. Do not underestimate it. And then lastly, we talk about working hard, and working hard is important. You got to be ready to work hard. You got to put in the time, but don't obsess on that, because at the end of the day, all that matters is the result and the outcome and the quality of it. And at my board, where I'm right now, my board tracking my hours, tracking my time, making sure that I'm working hard. No, all they care about is the result. Like, did we achieve our goals? Are we making the progress that we need to make? And if the answer is yes, then how and how I spend my time and how hard I'm working is kind of irrelevant. So I really want, yes, you got to work hard, but that's not the focus. The focus is what you're getting out of it.
Well, that's excellent. And again, you got it right here, right directly from Ross. It's about feedback, being open to it, being a good communicator, learning how to communicate more, and results is the end result, right? It is the end result. Whatever how much time it looks, the result is. Thank you again, Ross. You bring music to the workplace to keep teams focused and productive. That's a hero. Ross Honey, President and CEO of TouchTunes. Make sure that you reach out to him by going to TouchTunes.com. This has been David Kogan with the Eliances Hero Show. Make sure you stand by, because we've got the author of First Blood. That's right, the novel on which Rambo was created.
Thanks, David.
Absolutely. The Ross Gun Dance.